Hello Jeeval, this is solution for question 9. So we are given two functions, both are functions of time t with restriction t is greater than 0. This is the function for the tap water, this is the function for the pond water, and they are asking will the bacteria count for the tap water ever exceed the bacteria count for the pond water. So what they want us to figure out is whether this is greater than this for any value which is positive for t. Okay, so this is the equation we have to solve and figure out are there any values greater than t for which this holds true. Now now we figure out how to simplify this. Okay, so there is a 5 here and there are 15 here. I can divide both sides by 5, which is a positive number, and the inequality will stay, right? So I can divide by 5. So let's just do that. This becomes 1, this becomes a 3. Okay, that was easy. Now there's a t here and a t here. Can I divide by t? Well, not if t is 0. We are given the restriction t is greater than 0, so okay, that's good. um, can t be negative? T cannot be negative because of this, so t being a positive number, we can divide by t and keep this inequality. So that's what we are gonna do. So t and t cancel out. Okay, so this is good, this becomes 1, this becomes a 3. Now we have to figure out, so this is 1 over this whole thing and 3 over this whole thing. Can we just cross multiply this, bring this here and this here? We have to be careful. We can only, when we multiply, we have to make sure we are multiplying by a positive number. First of all, we have to make sure it's not 0. So this is t square plus 9, t is greater than 0. So t square plus 9, this is always positive, t square is always positive, then this is plus 9, so this is a positive number. Similarly, this is a positive number, this is positive, 3 times t is going to be positive, so sum of 3 positive numbers, this is going to be positive. So if I just multiply both sides by this, this will move here, and that's okay, we can keep this inequality. And I can multiply both sides by this thing, and this will move here, and everything stays fine because this is positive and this is positive. I'm multiplying with only positive numbers, so that's good. So let's do that. Cross multiply. This is gonna become 1 times t square plus 9 greater than 3 times this whole thing, which is 3t squared plus 9t plus 6. Okay, so we can simplify. There's t square here, t square here, so we are gonna, let's just move to the other side. So we'll get 2t squared plus 9t, and this goes here because minus 3 is less than 0, right? So we are writing from the perspective of this side. So this is our equation. So we want to figure out whether this is ever true, right? So this is a quadratic function, okay, and the coefficient of t squared is positive, so it's gonna look like a bowl. So if this is the x-axis, it can look like this, or it can look like something which crosses the x-axis, right? So this is what we have to determine. Does it ever become negative, right, less than 0? So we have to figure out, is it of this form or of this form? So how do we figure that out? Well, if it was this form, it will not have any uh, root. If it was this form, it would have 2 roots, or it could also be, it could be just touching this. It could be of that form also, so in which case it will have 1 root. So what we are really looking to figure out is whether it has 2 roots, because if it's just touching, there's no value where it becomes strictly negative, so the answer will be no. So we have to figure out whether it has 2 distinct roots in the range, t greater than 0. Like we basically have to figure out like the picture of this thing. Okay, so let's find the roots of this, right? So if this is a, this is b, this is c, if c is -3, then roots are given by minus b plus minus square root of b square minus 4ac divided by 2a, right? So if it was a curve of this kind, that there are no roots, then what happens is, the way this happens is, this becomes negative, so you cannot take a square root of it. So the first thing to compute is, to calculate this determinant d equals b square minus 4ac. If it's negative, then we'll know our answer very quickly. Okay, so what is the determinant? D is b square. B square is 81. B is 9, so it's 81 minus 4 times a is 2 times -3, right? So this is 81 minus minus plus, 4 2s are 8, times 3 24, and this is 105, right? So D is 105, so it is positive, so we are going to have two roots. Okay, if it was 0, that would mean there's just one root. So it's positive, so it's going to have two roots. So what are we gonna have? The two roots are going to be minus b, so which is -9, plus minus square root of 105 divided by 2 times a, which is 4. Okay, 1 second, let me check. Yep, those are the roots. So if you calculate this, in the calculator, we'll find that the roots are t equals minus 4.8 and t equals plus 0.31 something, 481 and 0.31. Okay, so now we can draw our picture. If this is 0, one root is -4.8, so somewhere here, and the second root is plus 0.31, so it's gonna look like a bowl like this. It will look better. I did not draw it symmetrically, but you get the idea. So the root is 0.31. Okay, so in the t greater than 0, this is the range of interest, t greater than 0. There is a portion where this quadratic is less than 0. So between 0 and so between 0 and 0.31, this is the range where this quadratic is going to be negative, which means like the pond, whatever, the tap water is going to have more bacteria than the pond water. So that's the answer. Yes, so it can happen. Now this is interesting. We could have seen this instantly just by looking at the equation. Like now in retrospect, at t equal to 0 or very very small positive number, it looks like we have our answer. So how could we have had our answer? If you look at this equation, just put t equal to 0 in the two functions. 5t, disappears. Left hand side becomes 1 over 2. The right hand side becomes, the numerator becomes 0. Actually, scratch that. No, this doesn't work. At t equal to 0, this doesn't work. Both sides reduce to 0. Okay, so but you could do it at a very small positive number, t equals 0.001, and you will see that this is greater than this. But this is the proper way to figure it out, and that's that. Okay.